New Mr. Beast allegations. I absolutely love it, and I'm hoping for a brutal downfall.
MrBeast situation that's been unfolding over the past month or so, but this time it centers on the newest video from Dogpack404, the former employee who sparked everything off, which contains additional allegations of misconduct and abuse at the company.
Those are my favorite ones for Mr. Beast.
Here's the thing. When a video like this comes out, especially this type of video, because this topic has been incredibly popular for a lot of YouTubers lately, including myself, when a video like this comes out, YouTube fills up very quickly with all sorts of reactions and interpretations.
Hey, he's talking about me!
I'll do the obligatory recap summary here for those that want it, but more so than talking about what those new allegations are or looking for details on what they could mean or where they come from or who's involved, I want to look at the broader picture from the perspective of where it all goes from here. MrBeast, like it or not, isn't just a person anymore. He's a brand, and that brand is worth something like $1 billion.
Everything dies when it becomes a brand, by the way.
Which means the stakes are pretty.
Star Wars collapsed when it became a brand. Disney collapsed when it became a brand. The superhero genre collapsed when it became a, well, mainstream brand, I should say. But nonetheless, when something becomes a brand, it inevitably ruins itself.
High, and the only real question I want to focus on is what happens now. What is the reputational damage? What are the future prospects? And who's the one directly impacting the fallout? For starters, the new video from Dogpack404 is mostly about two separate individuals. LaKoya Hill, former COO at MrBeast up until recently, and James Warren, the current CEO of the company. These two individuals have a lot.
Huh. The CEO of MrBeast's company is not MrBeast. Okay.
Of issues surrounding them, ranging from allegations of very serious misconduct to proximity with actual fraud cases, and a whole bunch more that you really need to watch the original video to fully grasp. Obviously, I'll have it linked down below in the description. What it really boils down to, if I had to condense it, is a culture at the company where serious problems appear to be actively covered up. And after incidents took place, the guilty parties appear to be simply shuffled around between companies rather than ever actually fired. An example would be LaKoya Hill, who
Oh, it's almost like a real company in that case. Very cool.
allegedly assaulted his secretary in some capacity and was let go.
Was she hot? I don't mean to be the sour grape here, but I think these are important questions.
Only to be brought back in a different area of the company. Then, after this reputational reckoning first began, he was removed again, only to then seemingly reappear as the president of Creator Global, which is
nice.
Another company launched under the brand of MrBeast. Dogpack404 has a pretty good analogy here, comparing it to that 3-cup game where you guess the location of the ping pong ball, but instead of cups, it's companies, and instead of a ping pong ball, it's criminals. Or, at the very least, people with serious allegations and a criminal past. I say that because we also understand that there was
something sociopath, something the social ladder.
A registered sex offender working at the company and appearing in videos.
A registered sex offender that MrBeast and everyone knew of.
While being allowed to adopt an alias and wear a physical mask in challenges to conceal his identity. So the idea that this overall brand is deliberately concealing wrongdoing or operating in such a way as to deliberately avoid never dealing with issues that come up doesn't really seem that far-fetched at this point. Regardless, the CEO, James Warren, kind of
he does look like a supervillain, though. You have to give him that, though. A for effort.
Secret CEO that most people don't know about, and the former COO, Chief Operating Officer LaKoya Hill, are now alleged to have serious issues in their past while simultaneously working at MrBeast and perpetuating a toxic.
By the way, the fact that the COO gets to become the CEO is a little bit sus. So whoever is, probably Jimmy owns the Jimmy things, right, from MrBeast. So he probably just likes him up and lathers him up, which would play in the accusations of favoritism that Dogpack was talking about and other people have mentioned. If Jimmy likes you, well, congratulations, your shaft is always lubed up. But if Jimmy doesn't like you, well, it is what it is.
Culture. But that's the real angle I want to focus on. And to do that, I have to make a comparison to a video game company called Activision Blizzard. Some of you may already know this.
Oh, wow. Man, Activision went downhill after Bobby left. He was the brightest, most brilliant glue that was holding that shitstorm together.
Some of you may not, but
He was the floodgate keeper.
Activision Blizzard, right around 2022, ended up facing a pretty similar kind of reckoning over company culture. I'll try to talk about this delicately, but in 2017, a female.
Yeah. And this reckoning completely destroyed the company. It's now a woke piece of trash. I mentioned this. There is no way that you have social justice warriors working in a company and then something bad happens and it's favorable to them that they don't replace every absolute aspect of the company. This is how we got the var within. Strong, independent, black, half-elf, cripple, woman leader that's gonna teach men how to do things properly because men are stupid. This is how you get there, okay? And this is how we got there.
Female employee tragically ended her own life in a Disneyland hotel room on a company retreat.
Don't forget to mention that there was lubes and butt plugs involved.
And it came out that during a holiday party directly before that happened, Activision Blizzard employees had been circulating naked pictures of her. Reading directly from the
Hey, and people say that there are no downsides to being a street urchin.
DFEH civil suit with slight liberties taken to avoid the video getting flagged.
But, you know, it's fine, girls, it's fine. It's empowering. Don't worry about it. No consequences, no nothing, okay?
And suppressed. Quote,
keep sending those nudes and all of that good stuff. It's fine. You're not gonna regret anything. Remember, female empowerment is real and not a scheme by the devil at this point, honestly.
in a tragic example of the harassment that defendants allowed to fester in their offices, a female employee took her life while on a company trip due to a relationship that she had been having with her male supervisor.
Jesus, talk about the drama queen, okay, on a company trip. Everyone else was having fun. Gee, why be such a buzzkill? Jeez.
They're down. Another employee confirmed that the deceased female employee may have been suffering from other harassment at work prior to her death. Specifically, at a holiday party before her death, male coworkers were alleged to be passing around a picture of the deceased's private area. End quote. Now, the family of this.
Who made that picture? Probably the woman. Who spread that picture? Also, high chance it's a woman. For example, remember when everyone was talking about Blizzard and stealing breast milk? Stealing breast milk, yeah, I agree, that's probably men. But stealing the pumps? That's women. That is 100% women. Other women stealing those pumps because they know how expensive that is, okay? Hey, we live in a society, what can I say?
This woman sued the company over wrongful death, which they then requested be dismissed with prejudice, which in my opinion means they very obviously settled with Activision Blizzard behind the scenes. But yet another revelation that came out was the fact that this company had such a pervasive...
If you settle, how can it be dismissed with prejudice?
Inappropriate atmosphere. There was an ongoing joke at corporate events and conventions especially called the Cosby Suite. I'm not going to spend too much time here discussing what that is or why it matters, but the simple goal is to demonstrate that at some point, workplace culture isn't just workplace culture anymore. It becomes an actual legal issue. Turning back to MrBeast as a brand, not so much...
And Bobby managed all of it, okay? He was the floodgate.
...an individual here. I'm of the opinion that this is precisely the same type of problem. In my view, it's becoming clear through a multitude of sources and accusations, increasingly corroborated with each other every single passing day, that this company is deeply affected by mismanagement of the highest order, and inappropriate behavior especially. In my view, it is now abundantly obvious that a billion-dollar brand had a total lack of professional conduct, accountability, or even basic employee safeguards. To such an extent...
Welcome to the finance world, buddy. No, wait, actually, no, not even finance world. Welcome to big business. This is beyond common. Okay? The people who think that everyone in, like, big companies and whatnot, they're calm, collective, they speak slowly and nicely, they never raise their voices, they don't yell, they do... Bruh, big companies are places where the heat is the highest, okay? People yell, people do this, it is insanity, okay?
they thought it was a perfectly okay decision to hire a convicted sex offender on the registry to a YouTube channel that makes content for children with kids on
Isn't that the end goal technically anyway?
set and in close proximity frequently, and then let him appear in videos with a physical mask on and an alias to hide his identity. Someone thought that through straight up. A lot of people.
Yeah, there's no way you don't think that through. Well, they say that he himself wanted the masks to hide his identity, but then obviously the question is why. But then again, the why doesn't matter here because we know that MrBeast knew.
Well, actually, most likely, and said, yes, do it. This is okay. We're good. Do it. That is insane. When you combine that with the newest allegations about LaKoya Hill and James Warren, the picture begins to form that this is a company, allegedly, where assaulting, harassing, or otherwise mistreating people does not result in punishment.
As in every big company, and also small companies. This is life, bucko, okay? If you're 17 and you think your work experience is going to be different, press X to doubt. Because there's always going to be someone who's mistreating you, and you have a choice in life. Either you are the one who mistreats, or you are the one who gets mistreated. I personally choose to mistreat others, and I enjoy it, I'm not going to lie. That shit is addictive, okay?
It just means you have to switch roles for a little while, or become the president.
Am I a bad person? Yes.
Of a separate vertical because accountability doesn't seem to exist. This is where I have to switch gears again and then ultimately tie it all back together. The reputational future of MrBeast as a brand is fully at the mercy of their own actions.
No, again, MrBeast is primarily 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, maybe at the best of days, and they don't give a shit about any of this. Someone commented last video that we did about MrBeast that, what are you talking about? 10-year-olds care. Well, sometimes, but typically they don't. Typically they don't. That's the reality. I'm not saying all 10-year-olds don't care. Sure, there are some that do, obviously, but most don't care. And, 90% of MrBeast's audience is literally children, and 90% of those children don't care. It's a pure numbers game at the end of the day, and MrBeast is winning the pure numbers game at the end of the day, okay? You know when it's gonna be real bad? When even losers like Asmongold, Moist Critical, Mudahar, or the Actman start making videos that say, oh my god, MrBeast is a terrible person, and don't hide around the bush and just don't say, oh, the situation's bad. No. When people like this that cannot afford ever to be on the wrong side of history start doing things, it's bad for MrBeast. But until that point, I would not sweat it. He's gonna just have to deal with a little bit of criticism on Twitter that he can hire people to block all of those accounts and live a peaceful life. And, it's just gonna pass.
This is no longer a question of, is Jimmy wrong or is he really just a philanthropist saint, a misaccused martyr? This is now only a question of how do they rebuild public trust, or can they rebuild public reputation?
My guess is it's gonna be more charity stuff, because it always works. The low IQ double digits mind cannot comprehend that all charity is not good, and the charity, while donating money to a charitable cause is typically always good, there can be negative reasons why that person is donating. And in MrBeast's case, I think he's gonna go for the charity angle here. It's the easiest one. We're donating 100 million to the children's hospital, but not to fight like cancer or anything like that, because it can't be something that's gonna turn people off because they don't want to see it. It needs to be something fluffy, something like the animal equivalent shelter for puppies and kittens, but in the human form. That's what it needs to be, and then MrBeast can sigh a sigh of relief and be all good and done.
Make or break, the entire persona of MrBeast is on the line right now, and so far their responses have been about as bad or worse.
To be fair, MrBeast's persona has already crumbled, but again, it's just the fact that people don't care.
Then,
and then I say people, I mean 10-year-olds.
You could possibly conceive of. At every single turn, they actively make it worse, with a perfect example being this right here. This is old news. I'm not bringing anything new to the table right now. But MrBeast, in response to all of this, apparently decided to hire a man named Matthew Hiltznick to his defense, who formerly represented Harvey Weinstein. To be completely fair here, hiring a crisis management
10 out of 10.
specialist who's best known for his work defending a monster doesn't make the person bad at their job.
Alright, listen, okay? The Harvey Weinstein situation is so fucking messed up to me, because the reality of the Harvey Weinstein situation is he didn't force those women to do anything. He said, hey, you want a role in this movie? Well, little Harvey wants to introduce himself to you. And then these women just said, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure, I'll do it multiple times, in fact, as long as I become a celebrity. And after that, they're like crying all of a sudden. Oh, life's so unfair. I only became a millionaire, pop star, blah, 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 because I chose to do what I chose. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not a good thing to do, no matter the way you spin it. But the idea that some people are saying that those women are completely innocent and were victims, bull, absolutely untrue.
And it can certainly be a smart business decision. But we're talking about his online reputation here. And hiring the same person as Harvey fucking Weinstein isn't a smart thing to do if you're attempting to parade your...
What do you mean? Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant got to go and destroy Star Wars with the Acolyte. Leslie Kennedy is absolutely amazing, okay? And she didn't know anything bad that Harvey Weinstein was doing. She's innocent. Bro. Again, it's just a giant swamp at the end of the day.
...yourself around as some sort of generous philanthropist saint like Jimmy does. Two things can be true at the same time. One, you hired someone who's good at their job because they're good at their job. And two, you are a completely brain-dead moron pretending you're a genius on all those podcasts he goes on, who decided that infinite resources to hire any reputable lawyer ever or crisis management team in the entire world, because you certainly have enough money for it, should be directed at the same person whose name is already professionally attached to Harvey Weinstein. It doesn't take a genius to see why that's a colossally stupid thing to do. Another thing that came out, courtesy of a YouTuber named Honestly, I'll have a link down below to his channel as well, is that the MrBeast chocolate brand Feastables, which is under scrutiny for a lot of other reasons lately as well,
used to have I remembered this one.
A very obvious claim on their website that the chocolate is slave-free. Yeah, they had...
Well, no longer.
...an entire page of the web...
Now it's slave plus plus. Nice.
...website just for that claim. But if you go to archived versions from October of 2023, it's just not there anymore. It was removed. Now, sure, if you wanted to play devil's advocate, you could say, well, the CAL, which is the Corporate Accountability Lab, filed a lawsuit in 2021 against Nestle, as well as the Rainforest Alliance, which Feastables used to list on their website as well, when they said they were slave labor free.
Wait. I didn't know this. So, you're telling me Nestle, one of the most fucking evil companies of all time, that literally will kill your child for a penny if they have the opportunity, is somehow magically tied to slave-free production of food? Nestle is the brand that Nestle is the guys who will specifically search out 100% slave ration goods because they're cheaper. Yo, if Nestle's giving you their seal of approval for anything, I instantaneously assume it's bad.
Alleging that they were not, in fact, slave labor free, so you could possibly argue that they updated the website after realizing, wait, the partner we decided to use that ensures we don't use slave labor was using slave labor.
This is a horrible justification, by the way. This point is completely out of whack. You know why? Because, okay, let's put everything into perspective here. MrBeast wants to make chocolate that's slave-free. He gets a partner that is slave-free, and thus he is slave-free. Very good. 2 thumbs up, right? And then turns out that their partner that was slave-free is just slave-free. And 2 thumbs down, they're using slavery. But now the thing is, okay, your partner got busted for lying. That's honestly not even on MrBeast. It happens. But the fact that MrBeast still continues the production of this chocolate while it is not slave free and he knows it is a deliberate choice that means that slave free in the first place literally didn't mean squat for him. There is no way to to circumvent this. The logic is completely solid. He knew, he doesn't care.
Quick, take it off the website. Except, no, that's not what happened. Because that lawsuit was filed well before Feastables even existed as a brand. So, why exactly did they remove those claims? I can't speak to motive here, and I certainly don't know all the details on internal decision making or the actual
Probably because some lawyer said, hey, you can be sued if you keep the slave free thing up while you aren't.
Manufacturing process of Feastables. But we're not talking about the motives that these kids have for why they ran their company in such a fucked up way. We're talking about their public persona. The subject is reputation right now, and my entire premise of the video is to talk about how the future of MrBeast's reputation is squarely at his own feet, and he's botching every single aspect of it.
Good.
His giant record-setting prize pool competition with Amazon is a complete disaster, in my opinion, purely as a result of personal hubris of him. His chocolate brand is what? Making sure to no longer claim it's slave labor free after a launch.
Also, his chocolate brand started off as healthier than the typical chocolate, but then it didn't sell that well. So they just completely forgot about being healthier than other options and just poured a ton of sugar. That's it.
Launch window that pretty heavily.
Again, nothing. There is not a single thing that MrBeast has done in his life that has been purely good, without any tries to either enrich himself, make himself more famous, make himself a philanthropist, or anything. Every single thing that MrBeast has done in his life that people have said, wow, such a good person, has been literally only with the exclusive goal of bettering himself in some way. MrBeast could not care less about the children dying in Africa.
Emphasized that fact as a key selling point. His media company is shuffling sex offenders and upper management accused of extremely inappropriate and abusive actions around like a carnival trick to keep them employed.
Man, if people knew how often this happens. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna fire someone who's actually good at their job potentially just because they said to a woman she's hot? Hell no! You're gonna put him in a different place, worst case scenario. Typically, nothing happens in the first place. That's called business.
For some reason, on top of hiring people whose professional persona is directly linked to Harvey Weinstein, plus 150 other problems like mass deletion of evidence, covering up whatever they can with regards to Ava Chris Tyson, and the legal quagmire of running dozens of illegal lotteries. But yeah, I've covered all that before, etc., etc., etc. At the end of the day, the future of MrBeast's reputation.
At the end of the day, MrBeast is cooked. Hopefully, I hope he crashes and burns. That was upper echelon. Bye.